So, fear. Fear is the biggest component when it comes to following your dreams and living your life and being yourself. Um, you can't have fear for anything. Um, a lot of us are scared of things that are some of them are made up in our mind, and some of them are um, like some of them make sense as to why we're scared, or some of them have proof. But fear is bad. Fear is bad. We fear so many things. We fear what people think. We fear how am I going to do this? We fear what's going to happen if I fail. Fear of failure is a huge thing. We fear what are people going to think. We fear what happens. We fear the unknown. We fear what happens. If I change, or what happens if you know we fear so many things. But it's important not to fear anything, and to really trust your journey in life, and to just trust that you're on the right path if it feels right, or if um, if you go out and do something, it's important. Don't fear it. Don't let fear dictate what you're gonna do in life. Don't let fear of like going to new places or meeting new people, or you know being yourself. It's important to just be yourself, and don't be afraid of it, because a lot of the things we fear, some of them are made up by society. Like, oh, that person's gonna look stupid, or that person doesn't fit in, or that person's, whatever. It's judgment. We're scared of judgment, scared of what other people think, scared of what our family's gonna think, scared of uh, what our friends think, scared of how we're gonna look. But really, that stuff doesn't matter anyway. But also, those things, what they think, what they say, has no effect on you. I mean, there's no way they can stop you. They only stop you if you let them. So fear of that is, you know, I can speak from personal experience that I've learned that the things that have made me grow the most are the things I feared the most. There's a saying, um, the things that you fear the most, you should go head on into them, because they're going to make you grow the most. And it's so true. Um, a lot of the things that I feared that I got pushed into, I overcame. It was fine. And I grew from it the most. I grew from it so much. And a lot of those things in the military, there's a lot of fear. Uh, fear of failure, fear of going to new places, fear of things like that. And like, when pushed to do it, I did just fine. I did it. I made it through just fine, and all the things I worried about were absolute. All the things I worried about were completely made up in my head, and I think that goes for a lot of things that we fear. Um, Fear is bad. Fear is the number one thing that stops us. Number one thing stops us from being ourselves. Stops us from living our dream and living life. But honestly, I personally like to do things I fear the most. Things that I'm like, oh my god, how am I gonna recover from that? How am I gonna do that? And a lot of times, I personally just do it, because it always works out. Like, it always works out. Even when you're scared, it's not gonna work out. Even when you're wondering how it's gonna work out, the ways just happen. The things we fear, and I think back on them, the things that I feared and the things that other people feared, it makes me laugh, because anything is possible if you just go out and do it. If you just go out and do it. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy with some things. I'm not saying that, it's going to be the same for everybody. I'm not saying that there's not things to be cautious of. I'm just saying that fear in general is so, like, so paralyzing. Fears just of normal things, of the normalest things. Um, like I said, a lot of them are understandable. A lot of them have reasons. Like fear of public speaking. Okay, I get it. I'm not good at public speaking either. Uh, you have to do it. You just have to fail. Failure is the biggest thing too. You have to fail to grow. You have to let go of that fear to grow. You don't have to just do it. Just do it. All those excuses you make and all the things you think about and the fear are just holding you back. Everything is just holding you back, and you should just go do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Some people would say, wow, that's crazy. She's telling you not to think about what you're doing, but it's not that I'm saying that. It's that I'm saying with with calculated plans, there's nothing to fear. And also, without calculated plans, it just depends on the situation. There's nothing to fear, honestly. And it's important that you trust your journey, trust your life. If you're a Christian, then trust God. Trust God so much. Because when we talk about in the Bible, when He says, just put your trust in me, we say, oh yeah, I trust Him. Of course I trust Him. But do you really trust Him with your life? If you asked, God, uh, put me on the path of what I need to do, and whatever, just let it come, let it be, I'm giving it up to you, and I'm gonna do it without fear. I mean, how many of us say that? Like, that's how it should be. We should just let life happen. Just let it happen. Stop being so scared, and stop being, like, just try. I know it's hard because I fear a lot of things. Some of my fears are, I'm scared to, like, go. Of course, I'm scared to put myself out there. Right now, this is scary for me, putting myself out there, because it's like, what will people think? What's gonna happen? What happens if it's popular? What happens if it's not popular? What happens if in Puerto Rico? What happens if I run out of money? What happens if sometimes with the apartment? What happens if I get killed? What happens if, you know, all kinds of fears. Um, I'm sitting here right now, and people are listening to me probably because my neighbors are so close. They're right outside. My apartment's wide open, so they're right there. They could be listening to me. I have a big fear of that. Like, oh my god, what if they just hear me like talking to myself? But everything you fear will surprise you when you face it, or when you're forced to face it. You'll be surprised that it will turn out to be an amazing thing. The things you fear the most, I swear, on the other side are the most amazing things. Fear is the only thing that is in your way as far as getting what you want to do, because you can do it, and you can absolutely find a way to do it. And fear should not be a thing. It's really hard. Everybody's different about what they fear, but in every aspect. It took me a while to realize that, but fear dictates so many things.